Greetings, lovelies. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back again with Chronic Wellness. So, I want to talk about birthdays. And I think that there's all kinds of baggage that comes along with living in these bodies that are managing all sorts of attacks on all fronts, from pain and illness to symptoms that come and go to symptoms that are always there. And and I think therefore my grasp on getting older is is a fraught relationship that sometimes I haven't wanted to be alive another minute, another day. And other times I'm very grateful to still be here and still have a life and be witnessing the lives of others I love, and particularly the young people I love in my life. And there are times where I've thought that I was going to die. And there have been times that I've been told I was going to die. I have a terminal illness, and I have been given a clock even when I was put on the lung transplant list. They told me how many days I was expected to live. And so I've given a lot of thought to death and dying. And while I'm not going to pretend that I've made my peace with my own death, I think I've considered it a lot more than many people my own age, and am reconciled in many ways to my death. And like most of us, I think I'm less afraid of actual death than I am in what might lead up to it. Losing all my faculties, losing the ability to go to the bathroom myself, having so much more pain and suffering than I'm in right now be the precursor to my death. Like all of us think, oh, I'd be fine to like fall asleep and just never wake up. But prolonged, intense suffering, the inability to care for any part of myself, like, no, I don't want that. So all of this is coming up because I just had one of those like landmark birthdays. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, it is the landmark birthday. It rhymes with nifty. And I don't have, I mean, I am born of this culture. Like, I'm clear that I'm not supposed to be getting wrinkles, and it's unacceptable for my neck to sag. Like, all the things that this culture has so carefully taught me. But I don't have, like, no, I don't want to be 50 kind of baggage. And I think in large part due to the fact that, to borrow from the words of Harry Potter, I'm the girl who lived. Like, I wasn't supposed to be here. In the last 5 years, there have been at least 3 times that I was told I was going to die, and I was quite sure that was true. And it's a weird thing, as some of you surely know, to wrap your head around what it really means to be living past your expiration dates. And I could surely do a series on that. And today, I am quite grateful that I am still here, which is no small thing, considering the last 6 months I've been really going through the ringer with another depression, and it's been a challenging one in new ways where my regular tools aren't working. And part of what has been really joyful in recent days is that we got away to the coast, which here in Oregon is like about an hour and 15 minutes for me. And not only do we get to go, but a few of my friends quarantined for several days leading up to that because I'm so immune compromised. And we got a house all together and we went over and spent time together. And I'm so honored and humbled that not only would people take time to quarantine and take time to go away for the weekend, but I think more than that, I'm really blown away by the fact that I still have a few close friends. Because in these lives where I may not call you for 2.5 weeks because I'm not getting out of bed, or I'm never going to go to one of your child's plays or birthday parties, or I'm not going to be able to reciprocate and support the friendship in the same ways that I'm asking you to support me in the friendship. Just feels inherently humbling and bananas. I am incredibly blessed. In ways that I know we aren't all blessed. And, there's always times where, and I'm sure you've heard this, where, somebody asks, how are you? And you say, oh, I'm still here. People are like, beats the alternative. And, in the back of my mind, I'm like, are you sure about that? I mean, do you know? I mean, really? Because really, I imagine that my soul was here before it joined this body, and wherever it's going to go is back to that same place. And I don't remember it being torture. And, I don't think it was horrific, and I don't think it will be. And so I'm not sure that it's so bad on the other side. But I'm today not trying to rush to get there. But there are days, and there will be again, the days that living is too much. And maybe I'm talking to you on one of those days, that being alive hurts more than you want it to. And that maybe you're not making a plan, but you wish you weren't here. And it's hard to stay connected to any amount of joy, any amount of reason, any amount of root that ties you to this plane of existence. And we all get that too, because we've been there. And for that, there is not necessarily a balm. There's not necessarily an antidote. The only way out is through. And so this is just a meditation on birthdays. And that I think getting older often triggers these kinds of thoughts, just reflecting on, am I worse off this year than I was last year? How does the aging process tie into the process of my diseases? How am I better or worse this year than I was this time last year? And I had the opportunity this morning to listen to a conversation between one of my gurus, one of my heroes, Dr. Gabor Mate. If you don't know who he is, after you're done with this, go look him up, watch him on YouTube, listen to one of his podcasts, read one of his books. His book, When the Body Says No, is in the canon of my sacred texts. And he was having a conversation about trauma with Prince Harry. And he was talking about the fact that we are all aware of the kind of trauma that is born of things that should not happen. But we often forget about the kind of trauma that is born of the things that should be happening but aren't. And it is that I think is ever present in the lives of those of us with chronic pain and chronic illness. What should be present is going to my godson's soccer games. What should be present is being able to go grocery shopping. What should be present is the ability to meet new people and stay connected to the ones who are already in my life. What should be present is going for walks every day and being able to breathe when I do, being able to bathe myself anytime I feel like it. These are this is the calculus of chronic illness that we often don't do and others surely never do. I love you. I'm thinking about you. I wonder what birthday you've just celebrated, or if you care to share how your mind wraps around the idea of birthdays these days. I hope until we're together again that you can find ways to be well.